Welcome back to part 2 of the TT podcast with Pete Founds. If you've not listened to part 1, make sure you go back and listen. Make sure you subscribe and make sure you leave Steve a review. Say nice things about him. Pete, where we left off was, actually we were talking about Steve, but we're going to get back onto you now. We were talking about your first race as a passenger, but I want to fast forward a little bit because it's where, as a driver, things started heating up and you started, pushing towards the front, and we've seen some...
Sorry, Chris,
No, you can't.
Can I just
Absolutely not.
Pretty please.
Right, go.
What was the big decision, or when was it, to change from passenger to driver to begin with?
I mean, that's exactly where I was going with that.
Sorry. I like being on my mic.
There was a couple of defining moments. One was my daughter was born, so I took my foot off the racing for a couple of years, for a year or two.
And when was this? What year was your daughter born? Remember that.
2004, yeah, 2004. So I took my foot off the gas for the racing, and I'd started a degree as well with one of the employer I was working with. So it was like double whammy. I need to get my head down and stop enjoying myself so much and do a bit of work. So so I took my foot off the gas a little bit there and stopped doing the passengering. And then, but to be fair, when I was that last year, 03, 04, when I was doing my passengering, Chris was riding really well, but I was just thinking, go faster there, do that, and I'm almost like pushing him along, in my head, and I'm thinking, hold on a minute, put your money where your mouth is. Could you do that?
Yeah,
so I thought, right, okay, I will. But obviously, I had other things to sort out in the meantime. Little bundle of joy and all that. So yes,
was it a step away, expecting to come back, or was it?
Oh yeah. I'd never stepped away to stop. That was never an option.
Yeah, because a lot of people find it hard to step away.
Yeah.
Even when they've almost, they realise they can't go any faster.
Having said that, I think I had 2 years, 3 years away.
Yeah.
But just did like the odd bit.
That's a long time. That's a long time to press the pause button and just kind of
Yeah.
It seemed to fly by now. And then in 2007, one of my mates at work, Alan Schofield, said, "You fancy doing the TT with us?" He said, "I've got quite a good package here. Do you fancy it?" And I was like, "I'm not passenger for a few years, but yeah, go on then, go for it." So I signed up for it, and we got into it, and we actually had a really good year, 2 fifths. I had 2 fifths that year at the TT, so it was a brilliant year, So Al was riding really well, but yeah, it was just like that thought. I've not done it for a couple of years. Am I going to be fit enough? I'd done the odd meeting here and there, but
it's a different kettle of fish, isn't it?
Luckily, we got back into it. I think we did a couple of British Championship rounds just before to get us settled in, because there's not many meetings, is there, before TT? Really, it's not a massive amount. So we went to. It was quite comical actually. We went to Croft, and Al had his new chassis and turned up and said, "Right, ready to go out." I said, "Where's the passenger handles, Al?" "Ah, bloody hell," he says, I've left them at home. I was like, "All right, don't worry about it. Can you hang on?" "Yeah, I'll be all right." Yeah.
No handles?
No handles. So yeah, he was breaking me in gently.
Yeah, no, in at the deep end.
Just a bit, blooming hell.
But, we cut a couple of holes in the third ends and stuff. Yeah, we get by. That's what we do.
So did you have the same thought that you had with Chris, like, I'll go a little bit faster?
No, he was riding really well actually. Yeah, he was going well. Yeah, we were right at the sharp end of the British Championship, if I remember rightly. So yeah, it was good.
So at what point?
Straight back into it. So I was tempted at that point to do I carry on with it?
Yeah.
But I thought, no. Do you know what? I had a bike in the garage which my dad had bought me, an old bike for us to renovate, and there was never any doubt. I'd got this bike now. I'd had the engine done. Trevor Ison had modded the chassis to get the engine in for us. So I'm like, right, I'm having this now. Yeah, let's go and do it. And we did. Yeah, it was brilliant.
Do you think passengering has benefited your driving?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because you can kind of appreciate what the passenger's got to do.
Yeah,
and you can kind of appreciate, if there's a certain line that I think I'm going to take through the corner, I need to be thinking, I can do it. I know I could do it, but could he do it?
Yeah.
9 out of 10 times the answer is yeah, but there'll be that odd time when I'm just doing something that's impossible for him to get from one side to another. So you do appreciate that, and then it's quite funny with Jev, because quite often I'll give him a dog's life somewhere. There'll be a certain part of the track, and I'll get in and I'm going, "Oh, I'm really sorry about that, mate," and he'll go, What are you on about?
It just wasn't. Yeah, it didn't even register with him.
Damn it! I'll go harder on him next time. I'll make him pay.
Do you think you analysed him more through being a passenger?
No, I don't think so. No. He's far better than I was as a passenger, I think.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
So I don't need to analyse him. He does his job. He's brilliant.
But he wasn't your first passenger, James O'Connor
At
at the TT.
I had a few people on that year.
Right.
Yeah, I had Dickie Gale was on with me. Dickie couldn't do it then, so then it wasn't James. It was sorry.
Go on.
Oh, you're going to get in trouble now.
Jason.
Sorry, Jason. So Jason O'Connor jumped in for me, and we did it. But Jason had a bit of an accident earlier on in the week, and he'd done his wrist in, ironically, so he was struggling a bit.
Right.
But we got a finish, so it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
25th.
I mean, we barely scraped the qualifying, to be fair.
Yeah.
So because we hadn't qualified, and we had to get a qualifying lap in. And literally went off the line on the Friday, last practice session, the bike just went onto 3 cylinders. And I was like,
man.
you're joking. Thought, well, what option have I got here? I've got to go for it. So I literally went for it on 3 cylinders. And do you know what? It was actually fun because we were going through bits that you normally shut off for. And I thought, I'm not shutting off for this. I'm only running on 3 cylinders. I'll just go for it. And
Full gas.
yeah, it was brilliant. We
So
got
a little bit
our
more
lap in.
relaxed.
Yeah, probably
Yeah.
was. Yeah.
God, flipping
But the
heck.
dogs slow down the straights.
Yeah.
You see that quite a lot, don't you? The sidecar side, obviously people are competing in other championships. They turn up for the TT, and then sometimes there's a big panic on because the the passenger's not fit or been off somewhere else, and just come back. And it must be really tough to. I suppose my question is, and what I'm getting to, is there a big difference in feel from different passengers?
There can be, yeah.
Yeah.
There can be, definitely. Yeah. So you need to turn up ready to go, don't you, both of you?
Oh, flipping
And,
at you.
and having ridden together and knowing what knowing being comfortable with each other and having the same expectations and whatnot.
So, but on from Steve's question, let's say you have a tall passenger or a slightly, stockier passenger. As they're leaning,
A fat boy.
a fat boy. Let's call it a fat.
Are we allowed to say that on a podcast?
Well,
No, I'm joking.
yeah. If they are a little, heavier and they're leaning to one side, again, do you feel the difference between a lighter rider and a heavier rider? More grip, less grip, or not?
Certain parts of the track, yeah. Not everywhere. You wouldn't notice everywhere, but certain parts of the track, yeah, you might notice.
Up the mountain mile when it's not pulling top gear.
Probably, yeah.
Blah, 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 blah,
Maybe
blah.
left-handers. If you have someone who's quite light on, you just notice that picking up through the left. So yeah.
Do you concur, Steve?
No, yeah, I'm just picturing it. That's all. Because obviously with the smaller weight on, I suppose.
So
But then, sorry, Chris, jump in
Again.
But then obviously you get little Tom.
Yeah,
Mitchell, he's so flipping light. You
Yeah,
can't.
that's right,
It's kind of hard to understand how he keeps
I mean-
the flipping.
I mean, that's the
that
game.
side of
That's the
the-
game
yeah.
now, though, isn't it? Let's be honest. You've got to be as light as you can to be
Yeah.
in with a shout. Because we spend. Let's be honest. We spend thousands and hours trying to work out ways of making our bikes lighter and more aerodynamic. And if we then go and put 2 stone on before the TT, you may as well give up.
that was my my favourite part of working in a motorcycle shop when the guys come in massive bellies, come in and say, I want a full titanium system on my bike. Because my mate told me it's a kilo lighter, and I just think, well, just go to the toilet.
Hello.
Just don't eat for the next week. But they'd rather spend $1,500 on a brand new exhaust.
Yeah, you got to be careful. I mean, some people do have medical conditions, like overactive
Thyroid.
knife and fork.
Oh, you got me there. Right,
My dad actually.
me as well. Let's get back to it. 2015, you ended up 25th. Come back another year later, you've got Jevon now as your teammate, and
Yeah.
you've gone from 25th to podium.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
What? How? Where? Why? How?
I don't know. We do you know what? Every year we've come the TT, me and Jev. We've not tried to set ourselves daft targets. We've just gone right. First year together, we're going to qualify, and we're just going to get as many laps in as we can. And that's what we did. And we did lap after lap after lap, and every lap we went faster and faster and faster. So, that speaks for itself.
Was there a massive difference in equipment, in your sidecar or anything?
No,
or was it just
actually the same
purely
bike.
the pairing of you two
Yeah,
was
just a
gelling?
pairing of us two gelling. Yeah.
Same bike?
Same bike, yeah. Same chassis, same engines. Yeah.
So
We've done a few tweaks, actually. We'd had, gone to a Motec ignition and some of these other bits and pieces,
Yeah.
which is good.
but not huge changes to.
Not massive in terms of,
So how did that relationship come about, you and Jev? 'Cause clearly it works.
Yeah, I was looking for the passenger, and Jev was actually available at the time because the lad he was riding with had stopped. So he just got on the phone and I took him out at Cadwell Park first time round, and that was a British Championship round as well. And we were straight on the pace, to be honest. I think we qualified on pole, I think, his first time out with me, and then I threw him out at what's the name, the left-hander, going up the hill. So I say I threw him out. I think he let go. But
Turn 1, not Charlie's. Cadwell.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's
I wanna say
Steve
Park,
knows. He's a local.
Coppice.
Coppice.
Yeah.
And check you out.
Yeah.
Charlie's 1, Charlie's 2.
Charlie's
Yeah,
one,
Park
Charlie's
straight
two.
into Park.
Yeah.
Round Chris, named after me.
Chris Curve.
Yeah, into
Yours, that
Gooseneck,
one.
Mansfield,
Down the hill.
down the hill. Mansfield's at the bottom of the hill.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, and then I don't know what the corner is into the mountain. Has that got a name?
Does
Can you not
anybody
stop
know
and
what that
fish
is?
again?
No, I'm old school. I'm old school.
Straight through.
Yeah. Over mountain, into Old Bends. I want to say farm. I don't know how I've got onto this subject. Barn at the
Old
end, right
hairpin
hander.
first.
Old
Turn
hairpin.
right, old hairpin.
Old
Is
hairpin.
that the old hairpin?
Old
The
hairpin,
last
yeah.
the last
Yeah.
tight right, down to barn, onto start finish, into Coppice.
You got 9 out of 10 for that.
Yeah, it's not bad, that.
That is a race, wasn't it?
You would.
Anyway, it's not about you.
Sorry, it's never about me.
Believe it or not.
Taxi rides next year.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll sign you up, Chris.
Get in there. I would love to see that.
Do it.
You do it.
Yeah, I've always wanted to be that's what I wanted to do when I was a kid. Be a
Get out.
passenger.
Honestly,
Not around TT.
Are you taking the mickey?
No, that's what I wanted to do. Used to love watching it.
Right, watch his space, folks. Watch his space.
Yeah, we'll do Cadwell.
I've heard a rumour there's going to be at the Manx 2023 a big parade lap.
What, sidecar?
Well, there's a big parade, but I don't know whether sidecars, but I'm pretty sure if it could be a spectacle, that maybe...
Steve
something could-
Plater and Chris Pritchard.
No, nothing to do with me.
No, you drive it.
No.
I trust
no,
you.
No. No, professional. We're sat next to a professional, we'll drive it.
Yeah, I know how fast he can go.
Never
though.
been called that before.
Don't grab me for I'm bigging you up there, take it.
All right, there we go. Exclusive. I'm jumping on back of Pete in
Sounds
a
good.
parade lap.
Yeah.
Right, let's
Go
get
on.
back to you.
Sorry.
Let's get back
Sorry.
to you, mate. And obviously, teaming up with Jev and things getting stronger and just gelling, like we said, the word
Yeah,
gelling
yeah.
earlier, and just kind of it always seems funny because obviously I'm not experienced sidecar wise, but you guys seem to communicate without talking, passenger and driver.
Yeah, that's the key, isn't it? You know, when you can communicate without talking, so he knows what I'm doing and I know what he's doing, and yeah, you can feel each other. You know, he generally knows what I'm going to do. Certainly on the short circuits, he'll know if I'm going for something or.
And do you criticise each other? I don't mean in a bad way. Afterwards, on a debrief after a practice session or even after a race, do you kind of debrief in a big way?
I
Or
wouldn't say you criticise, but we definitely discuss stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll quite often I'll say to Jeff, just can you give me more front end round there, or you know. And,
so what does that mean to the listener? What?
well, it's just his positioning on the bike. So he can be quite shrewd in terms of if I'm understeering particular parts of the track, he can pull his weight forward onto the front wheel and give me a little bit more front end, and then obviously he'll kind of drop himself back to stop the rear end spinning up, coming out of the corners. So he's, there's a bit of a talent to this passenger. Like,
I thought it was just left and right. I didn't realise that you could punch weights up front. And
He's all over the show.
wait, so understeering. I'm just going to try and prove my knowledge here. Understeering is when it won't turn in, right?
Yeah,
Then oversteer is when it turns in too quick.
correct.
Right, I'm there. I've done it. Let's go.
He's going to be practicing
TT
on his way home over
TT 2023.
Or
Yeah.
pass, whatever it's
Leaning
called.
from side to side in the car. But you managed to get a podium as well with Jev.
Yeah, we did that.
How did that feel?
Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah?
Amazing. And our kid was right behind us as well.
Yeah.
So that was it made it even more special. So yeah. I think he was a bit sick because I don't think his engine was running quite right. So I think
He gifted it, yeah.
Well, allegedly.
That's what it says.
Allegedly. Noticed he managed to stay with me though when I come past him. That red mist must have settled a little bit. Mustn't it? It's like I made up 10 seconds on him, but I wasn't going to make any more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that must have felt
That's brotherly love.
pretty special.
Yeah.
Again,
brilliant, yeah.
from up. I don't want to say nowhere, but normally you'll see a progression of 25th place like the year before,
it takes
maybe
you a
top
couple of
10.
years to get up there,
Yeah, maybe top 10, then push to top 5, and then head for the podium. But like Steve said, you gelled so well that you managed to go from that.
We did, to be fair, yeah. And same on the domestic series as well.
Yeah.
We won the British Championship the same year. That was our first full year of the British Championship, and we smashed that as well. So yeah, I guess everything just fell into place for us at that point.
Well, it must be, just thinking about that then when you're talking about obviously, catching your brother and stuff, and I haven't asked this to anybody else really, because on a solo, we was talking in the Rob Mack podcast, or Rob was talking about, should I say, about obviously catching and passing. And he said he got stuck behind Roger Marshall this many moons ago, who's a flipping fast rider, but it must be 10 times harder, obviously, on a sidecar, trying to get past the outfit in front when they've no idea really that you're behind, unless the passenger sees
right,
it.
Yeah. I mean,
do you have to plan them? Do you have to plan the move?
Yeah, you've got to make sure you pick it out. But I mean, generally the lads at the front, we're all doing a similar speed, so you're not going to just out drag someone down the straight. And there is an etiquette as well. So the passengers generally, because certainly the passengers trying to get that low on the bike, they're generally looking behind them anyway a lot of the time, because their heads are so low. Right, yeah. So they will see another bike. So there is an etiquette, and they will give the driver a tap if they think
the signal. Yeah.
You're on them. And you're trying to get past, actively, they will give the driver a bit of a tap, and you'll have an unwritten rule that if he taps me on the right, I'll move over to the left and let him down the right.
Ah, really?
So yeah,
I didn't know that.
That could get confusing though.
I mean, it's however whatever you decide to do.
Yeah, work it out between yourselves. Yeah,
work it out between yourselves. But yeah, generally, like I said, most sidecar guys have got a good etiquette about them that they know. But I mean, it doesn't always work like that, because sometimes, when you're level pegging with someone, you could come to a section and could be someone behind you, and you think, actually, I think I'm quicker through this section, so
you don't want to let them
I'm not letting them through, because they'll hold me up now through there. So that does happen on occasion. So
yeah. So let's move forward to TT 2022, because it was a hard year for the sidecars for obvious reasons. But when we did get to race on the Monday, what a cracking race it was. There was obviously you can't mention sidecars without thinking or mentioning the Birchells. Then we had the Crows, and then we had yourself and Jev. And I think I interviewed you, excuse me, on the fan park after the race, and going into Governors.
Yeah,
I think you were like, nah, don't even. I think you didn't even mention it. You're like, nah, that didn't cost it. But there was like what, a tenth between you and the Crows for second.
Probably did, but I still think switching off my bike halfway through Crosby might have been more significant.
That always does it.
Never usually helps.
Yeah, it didn't. Yeah, I looked at my data afterwards and I was like, yeah, you might have lost a good 40, 50 mile an hour there, Pete. That will have done it, yeah.
But regardless, heading into Governors, there was nothing between you and the Crows.
It was close.
And you went into the right-hander, and you just spun it up.
Gassed it.
Did you know it was that close, and you were trying to get every single second out of it? It was just a mistake.
Yeah, it's just a mistake.
Yeah.
I just gassed. I was trying hard.
Yeah.
We all were, weren't we? You could see by the times that it was that close. And I did get my pit board going over the mountain, which said did it say I was behind or in front? I think I can't remember. But I remember thinking, there's nothing in this, I need to push hard here. 'Cause if I take my foot off the gas now, then they'll come past us. And I did light it up a little bit too much around Governors, and a little bit of a slide.
But still made the podium. It was, like I say, it was a fantastic race, and because of that, sorry, Steve, because of that, you are pushing the Crows are pushing you, and it's pushed both of you closer. to the Birchells.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And a lot of people have seen, and like I said, it's hard not to think of the Birchells. Do you go into these races thinking, right, we're fighting for second? These boys are still head and shoulders, or now we've been there and you've got that close, do you think, well, actually, even if these boys make it to the end of the race, we can fight them?
We're in it to win it.
Yeah,
there's no other way. We're in it to win it, definitely. I mean, every year come some people say it's a 5-year plan, don't they, winning the TT? But for us, we've just set ourselves realistic targets every year when we come to TT. And then you can kind of use your speeds as a milestone, and we've nailed it every year. Every year we've set ourselves a target of a speed, and we've nailed it. So, so we've nailed all our other targets, and our target's to win it this year. So, what can I say?
I wanted to butt in then. Anyway, just come back slightly. So, running into 2022, sorry, Chris.
It's fine.
Obviously, new colours.
Yeah.
A bit of, and you was talking about pushing a bit of pressure there. Obviously your teammates with Peter Hickman, the fastest man around the TT course on 2 wheels, of course. Is that added pressure? It's obviously great for yourselves and a massive push really for the sidecar.
A little bit, personally, there's a little bit of pressure.
Yeah.
But there's certainly no pressure from the sponsors. But I guess you must feel it. You do a little bit in terms of you've got a bit some good support, so you want to make use of it and make it
Perform.
count. Yeah, and I think we did last year. Just we didn't come away with a win, but we're
Hey, times are good. Lap
another step
times are
closer.
good, and I don't know what it is in seconds, but obviously getting close to the lap record, it's you obviously got to be happy with that, and without doubt, I know what you like. You're going to be going back next year and trying to go even faster.
more to come. Yeah, definitely.
So how did the FHO deal come around?
Well, I can't take credit for it, to be honest. Jeff sorted the FHO deal out.
Yeah.
So he's in touch with FHO through his work. I think he paints all their bikes, to be fair. So,
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he's just made that contact and created the relationship, and that's how things work, isn't it? Sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect.
I'm either going to charge you 20 grand to paint this bike, or
Yeah, exactly.
you can sponsor the team.
Do you want a good paintwork or an average paintwork?
I can't promise this isn't all just going to come off the moment Pete drops down the hill, but I know I can guarantee that we'll put plenty of lacquer on it. That's not it's not a bad shout. And what a like Steve said, what a team to have behind you to support.
Yeah, no, brilliant. Yeah.
And is that the same moving forward into 2023? You're going to be same team, same everything?
We've been in discussion, so it's looking like we'll be doing the same again for next year. Yeah.
What chassis and engine do you run?
So it's an LCR chassis.
Yep.
That I run the centre section, and then a lot of the other running gear is stuff I've designed myself. So it's a bit of a hybrid of, my own swing arm and uprights and stuff like that, and engine mounts and platform, and but with the centre sections is an LCR chassis.
I've got a question for you lads, and I might sound stupid when I say this, and I'm sorry, but
Well, we expect it.
I every time someone says LCR, I always think, what does that stand for?
Go on, Steve, you can tell me.
I can't remember his name. Swiss name.
Correct, yeah.
What's-
Louis Christian.
That's it, Louis
He's
Christian.
I think he's just announced he's retiring, actually, bless him, Louis. So, what
Oh, sorry, I thought you already had.
I think he did, and then his demand was such that he's probably wasn't allowed to retire, and it might be the same again, probably. But
yeah.
What an engineer that guy.
Massive name, from what we've
huge
been
name.
talking about, the old
Going back to
Grand Prix days.
Bilan days.
Yeah. Massive name. Yeah.
But a lot of people, because I always think of it as Lucio Ciccinello Racing. He had the LCR Honda, right? In
Still does.
MotoGP.
Still does. Yeah.
Not the same
still
person
going,
though.
yeah.
Completely different.
No, unfortunately not. No.
I never knew that. There you go.
Yeah, great engineer.
Every day's a school
I think
day.
he built single-seater cars as well. Well, he did. I know he did. Yeah.
All right.
So
Fair play.
Great engineer.
Obviously, a class leader at GPs as well as especially in the early days. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what engine? What engine's in there?
So we're running it's a Honda-based engine.
Right.
Yeah, CBR 600 RR with a few tricks.
Who does the work with that?
Well, we've got
Cylinder road work and stuff. I mean.
yeah.
Who's-
We've got Motrack Engineering do all
Yeah.
the engine builds, and they're brilliant. And then we've been lucky enough to have Chris Mayhew doing us a couple of heads as well.
Perfect.
So he's such a gentleman, Chris, as well. So I've been blessed, to be honest, because Steve from Motrack's amazing. He's always never let me down. His reliability is second to none, and then Chris is a bit of a wizard, isn't he, with his cylinder head work? So
Awesome. I owe some of my success to that man.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah, it's easy to win on a fast bike, isn't it, Steve? Even I could have won on those mice. Yeah. So TT 2023, what like you said, you've had these milestones in terms of speeds that you want to hit, and every time you've been there, you've gone. It's a game of diminishing returns. The faster you get, the harder it is to set those times. So what's a realistic goal for you this year in terms of speed, and how are you going to achieve that?
Got to be looking at the lap record this year, haven't we? I suppose.
I think you're going to have to if you want to win. Then it is.
Yeah, definitely. So.
But there you go. How do you get that? Is it how much of it's down to that machinery and what else you can do?
Head down and arse up, I think.
Yeah. Is that it? Do you think?
No, it's just having everything go right at the same time. Isn't
Yeah.
it? So the bike's running right. Driving and passenger
I'd
performing
argue
well.
that a little bit because obviously every year is different, especially at TT.
Yeah.
If grip levels are down, you won't get near the lap record, but you're still capable of winning. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
But-
And of course, they're always changing bits of the circuit, aren't they, and doing different things. So that can have an effect.
Yeah.
So-
But everyone's on the same.
But everyone's
same
the
track.
same. Yeah.
So
So
if you're pushing up, Birchall's are going to push up, Crowborough's are going to push up. So
absolutely, yeah.
It must be nice, getting faster and faster and getting close to that lap record because you're obviously knocking on the door of the Birchalls who are class favourites at the moment. So it must boost your confidence and give you a little bit of a push.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Drives you on a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Drives you on, and it's just trying to get your head down between now and now in race season, really, to make sure you start the season with a tool, if you like, something that's capable of winning. So
What's your build up? You know, for TT22, sorry, 22. That's history. For 23, are you competing in anything else?
Yeah, we're doing. I think we're going to sign up for the British Championship, Formula 2 Championship, and then they're also running F2s at the BSB as well, or the limited number of races that they're doing with the BSB. So we'll be contesting some of them as well.
And you feel
if not all of them,
that those help? Like you see, Dean, Pete, obviously, Davey Todd, solo riders need their foot in for that. Do you feel like you need the mileage?
It's like you were saying in part one, wasn't it? You don't get a lot of meetings in before the TT. No. So I mean, if you want to do a lot of serious testing, you've got to go abroad or go and hide a circuit somewhere or something like that, or But unfortunately, when you work for a living, it's hard to try and find the time to do that. So you're using up all my holidays to go racing as it is. So to try and find another couple of weeks to go to Spain or whatever to go and do some testing, it
must be really difficult because at least for a solo they can go on any track day.
Yeah, that's true.
For a sidecar it must be tough. Do you guys stick together and hire a circuit, or how does it work?
It has happened occasionally, and there's a couple of track days that will get organised by either a club or a group of people. So that there is I'm not complaining by any stretch. There's plenty of chances for you to go testing, but it's.
Well, you're clearly chomping on the heels of the Birchells, and I think they're probably going to go into 2023. I wouldn't necessarily say worried, but definitely having a quick look behind them, knowing that you boys are on your way. So their loss is our gain because it's going to be such an exciting race in 2023. I'm looking forward to it. Steve, let's wrap up with some quick fire questions.
Yes, sir.
Oosh.
Right, quick fire. Yeah. Okay, it's nice and simple questions. It's just answer one or the other.
One word answer.
No descriptions. Like no. Lager or bitter?
Lager.
Pineapple or never pineapple on the pizza?
Pineapple.
Good lad. Driving or passengering?
Driving.
Short circuit or road racing?
Road racing.
Grandstand to Glen Helen or Glen Helen to Ballaugh?
Glen Helen to Ballaugh.
Klaus Klaffenblock or Tim Reeves?
Well, that's a tough one, isn't it? I know both of them guys, and they're both good. It's got to be Revo, I think.
Reeves. Cheshire or Isle of Man?
Oh, another good one. Seems to be partners from the Isle of Man. I better be careful here, haven't I? I'm a Cheshire set, you know the score. Cheshire housewives and all that.
Posh boy. Yeah, posh boy. Outright lap record or TT win?
Oh, I'd take the TT win, I think.
Good lad. Glen Helen or Gorsley?
Gorsley.
Molly or the Birchells?
Molly.
Spot on. Thank you very much, mate. Thank you.
What about, you didn't even ask Chris or Alan?
Oh, that's a good one, yeah.
Yeah.
Good point. No, well, that's 10. That's be 10.
Sorry. But if you had to pick one.
What, as in, like, who's the best rider or driver?
Take it as however you want. Best brother?
Oh, it's got to be our worm. That's Al for the record, yeah.
Pete, it's been an absolute pleasure. Can't wait to see you on that start line in 2023. Cheers, mate.
Cheers,
Thanks,
boys.
mate.
Thank you.
Right, so we said it at the top of the show. He is capable, or at least it seems capable, and he's definitely motivated to take it to the Birchells. TT 2023 is going to be epic.
Very much so. I love coming into these podcasts and not doing too much homework so I can find out more about the guys. That's the whole idea of it for the listener as well. And the more I listen to him, the more I like the way he goes about things, and without doubt his pace is getting faster and faster. He's knocking on the little 118.8, I think, not far from the lap record, so yeah, without doubt he's going to be getting stronger.
But like he said, and you said it in the podcast, it all comes down to conditions on the day as to how the race will go. Perfect weather conditions, perfect track conditions. Like he said, the lap record is going to have to go if somebody wants to win that sidecar race.
Hey, it's not just that, without doubt I believe they will. Jev and Pete will up their pace, but then we're going to have to see the Birchells push a little bit harder.
We'll be back next week with another star-studded guest from the world of the TT, but make sure you check out iomttraces.com for all the latest TT features and news. And as always, head over to those socials at TT Races Official So you can see Steve's pretty face, you can see my pretty face, and all the social media that goes out from the TT. Until next time, Steve.
It's been a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. See you soon.
Cheers, mate.